Naivasha, hi. Thank you very much for joining us at talkSPORT here today. Um, we're talking about MatchWornShirt today and their partnership with US Soccer, but I just wanted to firstly kind of dig in a little bit about the story behind the brand and how it came about.
Yeah, of course. Match One Shirt was started by two Dutch brothers, Bob and Timon, who are founders and still a really active part of the company. So they went to a football game with their dad, an Ajax game, and it was to commemorate a kind of milestone in his life. And after the game, they really wanted to get a worn shirt from his favorite player, and they found that it was basically impossible for fans to get their hands on these shirts. And that's basically where they saw the gap in the market. And 8 years on, we now work with over 300 different teams all over the world, giving fans and collectors the opportunity to own these shirts, which is really cool.
And why is that kind of that worn shirt? Why is that such a kind of appealing and big market for the consumer?
Yeah, I think it's all about kind of owning a specific moment in the game. So we always say our platform is for every single football fan. So that might be your fan that goes to every single home game and has that physical connection to the team and to the players. But we also find a lot of collectors that can never go to the games. They don't have that kind of connection and interaction. And having a worn shirt and a kind of a specific moment in history, basically, that you can put on your wall, I think that's what makes the worn side so much more special.
Is that something that you see, especially in the US, or is it like a global phenomenon that people are buying into?
It's global, really. I mean, we started in Europe specifically, but we also have customers all over the world. So, in all of the European countries, a lot in Asian countries, and definitely in the US as well. And I think the memorabilia market in the US is already huge. So, I think that's where we see the real opportunity. So, yeah, definitely a global thing.
And you said it kind of allows fans to own a little moment of history and kind of feel more connected to a game that they've either been to or watched or a club or a player. Um, and we see kind of a real appeal in women's football is like that accessibility factor that you don't necessarily get in the men's football. And is that something that Match One Shirt has kind of tapped into, that people want that sort of they want to feel connected to a specific player or a specific team, and it's that accessibility factor that makes it such a big market for people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the start of it is actually being able to offer these shirts. We've seen, and as Bob and Timon, as I said, saw when they started the company, that it was really hard for a fan, just a normal fan, to get their hands on the shirt. So I think, especially also in the women's game, we're really proud that we are now making these shirts accessible and allowing this connection between those players and their fans. And we're now the biggest platform offering the real authentic shirts. So it's something that we're really proud of. But that's the real start is having these on offer first off.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk to me a little bit about the partnership with US Soccer. How did that come about, and what does it involve?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the US, the memorabilia market in the US is huge. So it was such a natural first kind of step for us, next step for us. And our origins are in football. So we thought, what better way to kind of kick off in this market, the US market, than working with the US soccer team, especially with the growth of football or soccer out there. And with the World Cup around the corner and all of the hype and build up to that, it just felt like the best next step for us. And we've already really seen the opportunity, especially with women's football shirts. Our highest ever selling women's shirt on the platform was from Sophia Smith from the NWSL final in 2022. And that went for nearly 10K. So we were already really seeing the demand there in the US, but also globally.
Yeah, and talk to me a little bit about exactly how the auction works as well, because I read that it kind of unfolds as the action's happening on the pitch. So how does it work?
Yeah, exactly. So we have, much like our other partnerships, we have a relationship with US Soccer where we get the starting 11 worn and signed shirts straight from the pitch. And yeah, how it works is we go live at kickoff with the auction on our platform. So that means that fans can actually bid in game. So if, say, Trinity Rodman scores a goal, a fan can actually place a bid on her shirt at that moment. And then essentially after the game, US Soccer will collect the shirts, get them signed, we'll pick them up, and then we put the real pictures of the shirts up on the platform because it's so important that fans can actually see what they're buying. They can see the grass stains from the game, they can see the detail of the shirt. So yeah, we always make sure those are up on the platform before the auction ends. And then basically when the auction does end, we send out the shirts to the fans. We also include a little NFC chip on there, which shows the authenticity, so fans know that they're getting this shirt directly from the pitch. And I think the model of the auction is great as well because it really allows fans and collectors to decide the value. So it might be that it is a historic moment for a player or a team, or it might be that it's just the first game that they took their son or their daughter to, and they want something to commemorate that and have a memory of it. So yeah, it's really good in that sense.
There's that excitement as well, isn't it, of kind of watching the action unfold and being able to kind of bid in real time. Are there any like particular player shirts that stand out where there's like something's happened and you've seen just like a spike in activity? Are there any kind of standout moments for you?
Yeah, so I think particularly that there's a couple of options, particularly in the men's shirt. So we have a relationship with Chelsea, and Cole Palmer this year our season broke the Premier League record for the most amount of goals in a half, and that shirt in the end went for over 41k, which was which is crazy. But you could see it, and I'm always there when the games are happening on the platform, seeing as things go up. And there was also a moment in the Euros we worked with Albania, and it was the fastest ever goal scored in Euros history, and you just saw that completely spike straight away. So yeah, it's maybe a bit sad, but you sit there during the games looking looking at the platform, and I'm really hoping with this US partnership as well, and all of the games that we've got coming up, that there's going to be more exciting moments where we're going to see that happening again.
That's really kind of insane money that you just mentioned there for, one shirt. But speaking of money and like investment and everything, how can this sort of auction help grow the women's game in terms of like the numbers of people who'll be watching it, or like for um yeah, just for kind of fan accessibility as well?
Yeah, so we did a big International Women's Day campaign this year in March, where we had over 70 different women's team auctions on the platform. So that was amazing for us, and that was the most that we've ever offered and ever had there. So that was great from a accessibility perspective, from a promotional and visibility perspective of those teams and those players. We've got a fan base and collector base of fans all over the world, over 140 different countries. So I think that really helps with that. We also know that a lot of the money raised from these auctions is being put back into the women's game and the women's team, and we hope that that can also play a small part in helping to further grow the women's game.
Yeah, I mean that's the aim, isn't it? That would be the dream. And it like you said, it kind of helps connect to those personalities on the pitch as well, and that can only help grow the game too.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And I think it's what we talked about around owning that moment. And I had a kind of a funny experience when I worked for Arsenal for a period of time, and I was walking down Holloway Road, and I saw a family with two children, a boy and a girl, and they were both wearing Arsenal shirts. And I saw on the back they had Mead and Williamson, and for me that was kind of a bit of a pivotal moment in the sense of the younger generation is now really looking up to these players like they did for Ronaldo and Messi, and I'm sure they still do. But I think that was really amazing, and I think they'll be thinking, I want to own a worn shirt from these players as well, and getting to know their history and their career. So I think that's a really really exciting thing that I'm really happy that we're going to be a part of.
And we saw the launch of the partnership on Saturday. And am I correct that that was the games from the US and Brazil?
Yes, exactly. So we launched the partnership with those games. We'd collected those shirts previously. We've got another game this evening coming up, and then we'll be going live going forward from kickoff with those games. So both from a women's and men's team US soccer perspective, we've got a big summer of games coming up, and then obviously next year with the World Cup. There's going to be a lot of shirts on offer to fans and collectors.
Yeah, and on kind of a big summer for sport, are there any plans over the Euros at all? Any partnerships there?
Yeah, so we have a number of partnerships for national teams. We have the women's German side. We have a number of other women's national teams. A few more probably in the pipeline as well. So I'll kind of watch this space a little bit because obviously that's a big focus for us at the moment. And similarly in the US with the Club World Cup as well, we have 6 teams that we're going to be working with on that. So and I think this launch with the US soccer women's team especially, I think it is going to then open up a lot more opportunity for other women's teams to really see the value and see what we can do with these auctions. So yes, I'd say a lot more to come, especially focused on the Euros.
Of course, and we'll be keeping our eye on it, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to you again across kind of the Euros, see how it's going. But thank you so much for your time today.
No problem. Thank you so much.